Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And this is a new Iranian thriller that takes place in Tehran, in present-day Iran. And this film was bankrolled by French and German filmmakers and shot completely in secret, as this is a pretty damning indictment on the current regime in Iran. And this film navigates a bigger, broader conversation about this draconian, authoritarian regime that's ruling over Iran, and how so many people are dying or being tortured for this very, very strict old school perspective on living, shunning all Western ideals, and how this film is able to channel all of those ideas into a very intimate, very personal family story that focuses on Iman, who is an investigating judge for the government in Tehran, who grapples with paranoia and all the political unrest around him, as the gun that was given to him as a new investigator has gone missing. And he questions the loyalty of his wife and his daughters. And this film, I think the biggest thing to get off the chest right away is this is a 2-hour and 47-minute film. Once you get into, I think, the later parts of the second act and the third act, this is going. I do feel like this could have been tightened up a little bit in the first and into the second act. Like, did this need to be almost 3 hours? Probably not, but it is very authentic and intimate in the way that Mohammad Rasulov, the director, crafts this film around this story, which he wrote. And this film is very engrossing. There's a lot of tension, and it doesn't use a lot of like Western filmmaking cliches of like overly reliant on music and like big bombastic moments. It's the little moments. It's the paranoia. It's Iman, played by Misra Zara, who is seeing, like, why is this motorcycle so close to me? Who's this person sitting outside of my house? Why is this car? Why is the woman inside recording me? And all of these moments that are building and building and building. And I think Zara offers such a great performance because from the beginning, you kind of get an idea that, like, he's a very respectful, reserved person who's very traditional. And, you know, there's conflict in his family with his daughters, Sana and Rezvan, who, you know, want to live more modern lives with their phones and their friends and stuff like that. And he's struggling with that because of his very traditional perspective. But how Rasulov is able to peel back layers in this film and reveal what this man's really like, and how Zara is able to slowly shift and have moments of outburst and anger and really sell this character, and realizing, oh, we're dealing with a completely different person than we anticipated through most of this film. And that's becoming more true to these two young women, his daughters. And also you see the layers of how his wife, Najma, played by Sohila Golestani, who does such a great job of having this, like, holding it together kind of perspective. And it's unfortunate that a lot of her life, you can tell in this marriage, has been trying to keep this man at bay, this darkness, and hiding that from her daughters. And this film builds to this third act fever pitch, where this is a very metropolitan kind of film for about 2/3 of it. And then it becomes this isolated thriller where there's nowhere hiding. And the paranoia keeps heightening, and this cat and mouse game that builds between this family. And you have Sitara Maleki and Masha Rostami, who play the two daughters, also give fantastic performances. All four of these actors really step up and bring so much to these characters. And you see how these daughters are slowly losing faith in their father and society that they live in, that they've grown up in, and these ideals that are placed in front of them, and how they want to rebel, and how they tried to navigate this perspective that they've had of this man, their father, for their whole lives, and realizing what kind of man he really is. And he resorts to his work. And there's scenes where, like, there's interrogations, and, you know, there's really dark and ominous things that he winds up doing. And this all builds up to this fantastic climax. And it's all over lies and deceit and fear and paranoia, as this film expertly channels all of these big ideas of this Iranian society and distills it down to this family unit, and is able to navigate this story, which is a very effective thriller and engaging story in its own, but it's able to layer in these rich and impactful themes thanks to Rossolov's really impressive and tense direction, and a really well-written script that has a lot of dense layers to it that you peel back and have so much to contemplate and to navigate through. This is such an impactful film, and is quite the thriller, and it has a lot to say, and kudos to, like, how they made this all in hiding, because there's no way in hell the Iranian government would ever want a film like this to release. And, you know, we get to see it, and it is quite fascinating and incredibly engrossing. But those are my thoughts on the Seed of a Sacred Fig. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.